Okay, Moon Pie, I got some problems. I need a new place to go to. Just anywhere. Anywhere at all.
You seem a bit troubled, and that's understandable given the circumstances. If you're looking for a place to clear your mind, there's Pascal's Groceries down on Old Warehouse Street.
There.
It's a quiet spot, and the owner is a kind soul. Sometimes, a change of scenery can help process one's thoughts. Just be sure to return to the case soon. We still have much to discuss about those poor souls.
I've already been there. You got any other places that I could go to?
Well, there's the morgue, actually. It's not exactly a conventional destination,
the morgue?
but it's where we are now. We could continue discussing the cases here if you'd like. Alternatively, if you're feeling overwhelmed, you might consider taking a walk outside. Sometimes fresh air can be beneficial.
Aw, sweetie pie, if you wanted my, attention, you just had to say so.
Let's please maintain focus on our work. We can discuss personal matters later, if that's what you'd like.
Ingrid isn't telling me anything at all, and Marina H. seems pretty suspicious. What do you think?
It's essential to consider all possibilities and gather more information before making any conclusions. Marina H.'s behavior might indeed warrant further investigation. As for Ingrid, sometimes people are hesitant to share details. Perhaps a gentle approach could encourage her to open up. We should also be cautious not to jump to conclusions based on limited information. The evidence we have so far suggests that each case has its unique characteristics, and we must carefully examine every aspect before drawing connections.
That's great and all, but, Boo Bear, every time I talk to Ingrid, I just want to drink a lot. Like the last time I talked to her, which was also the first time I talked to her, I drank 10 Black Widows.
It sounds like your interactions with Ingrid can be quite taxing. Perhaps it would be beneficial to have a more in-depth conversation with her, but in a setting where you feel more composed. 10 Black Widows is quite a considerable amount, and it's crucial to prioritize your well-being, especially when dealing with sensitive cases like these.
You want to come with?
Detective Martini, as much as I appreciate the invitation, my work here at the morgue is far from over. These autopsies require my undivided attention, and every minute counts. We can discuss the case further here, but social outings will have to wait. Time is of the essence in our line of work, and we can't afford to waste any more of it on leisure activities.
Do you have the autopsy report for Mr. Potter?
Not yet, Detective. As you know, Mr. Potter's body has not been delivered to the morgue. He passed away abroad, and we're still waiting for the arrangements to be made. Once the body arrives, I'll conduct a thorough examination and provide you with the report.
Alright, see you later.
Until then, stay focused on the case, and do take care of that injury of yours. We'll reconvene soon to discuss the developments. I'll be here working on the autopsies and trying to piece together the puzzle.
Chief, I've hit a dead end. I've hit a wall. I don't know where to go now.
There's always a way forward even when it feels like you've hit a wall. Take a step back and reassess. Look for connections, talk to witnesses again, or consider angles you might have missed. The killer isn't going to stop, and neither can you. Dig deeper and don't let frustration cloud your judgment. We've got too much at stake here.
Can you tell me more about, Maria?
She was a 23-year-old blonde with a Scandinavian look. A real tragedy what happened to her. Found outside her apartment covered in blood. It makes your stomach churn just thinking about it. This isn't just a case. It's a reminder of the darkness lurking around us.
Okay, do I have permission to go to her apartment?
I'm not one to grant permissions lightly. You can investigate the area, but remember to tread carefully. There's a lot of emotions running high there. Make sure you approach it with respect. The last thing we need is to stir up more trouble in an already tragic situation. Just keep your focus on gathering information and connecting the dots.
Can you mark her apartment on my map?
There are no maps for solving this case. Remember, she was found in central vaudeville, and that's where you should concentrate your efforts.
Okay, do you have a map for central vaudeville?
I've got no interest in newfangled gadgets or fancy mapping techniques.
Going back to the morgue. It's the only person I like. Okay, do you have any other places I could check out for the case?
There are a few establishments around that might provide useful insights. The local library on Main Street often has resources that can aid in investigations. Additionally, the police station might have leads or records related to the cases.
Anything you could mark on my map?
I'm afraid I don't have the ability to mark anything on a map, but I
yes.
can certainly help guide your thoughts. When you're out there, keep an eye out for any subtle details that may seem insignificant at first glance. They can sometimes lead to breakthroughs. Each location carries its own stories, and it's essential to be open to all possibilities. Let's ensure that we honor the memories of those we've lost by pursuing the truths they left behind.
Okay, Ingrid, do you know where I can go to get more information about your friend Haley?
Honestly, detective, like you said, you probably know more than me. To be honest, people here at the Coral and Cabane Violet are my whole world. We all stick together, and that's about it. Maybe. Marina H. might know something. She's been around vaudeville a bit longer than me. But other than that,
Marina H. is acting very suspicious, and I do not trust her. Can you tell me anything about her?
really? Suspicious? That's weird. She's always been nice to me, and we've danced together a few times. But, now that you mention it, she did seem a little off when Haley died. She was really shaken up, but then she just kind of disappeared for a while. But that could just be because she was upset, right?
What do you mean she disappeared for a while?
She wasn't around Coral for a bit, and nobody knew where she was. It was like she vanished. But then she came back, and everything seemed normal again. She didn't say where she'd been, though. Maybe she was just taking some time to grieve or something.
This is very important information, Ingrid. How did she behave when she came back?
When Marina came back, she was a little different, quieter maybe, and she wouldn't talk about Haley or what had happened. It was like she was trying to avoid the subject altogether. But you know, we all deal with grief differently, right? Still, it was a little strange.
How was her appearance? Did she look different?
Now that you mention it, yes. Her appearance was a bit off too. Her eyes looked sunken, and her skin was a bit paler than usual. And her hair. It looked like it hadn't been washed in a while. But you know, we all have bad days, and it could have just been that. But now that you're asking, it does seem suspicious.
When did she have time to disappear?
It was after the trip to India. We all got back, and then Haley was killed.
Whoa,
And
whoa,
after
whoa,
that,
whoa. What do you
Marina
mean the
was
trip
gone
to
for a
India?
little while. It was all so chaotic, to be honest. But looking back, it was probably a few days before she came back to Coral.
Hold it. Tell me about this trip to India.
The trip to India. It was a big deal for all of us performers. We were all so excited to see the country and learn from the local artists. But something went terribly wrong. On the last night, we all had dinner together and, well, I remember Haley telling me about it later. Everyone had mutton stew, but Mr. Potter, he's a vegetarian, so he had a special mushroom soup instead. And then, he died that night.
Oh my god. I need a pen, or a pencil, or something. I don't have one. I like to write down my thoughts before I type them. I'm just a writer like that, you know. I prefer pencil, in some occasions anyway. Hold on, Mr. Potter died in 1914, so how would you know him? What is the year?
I'm so sorry, I get confused sometimes. It's 1915 now, of course. I must have gotten my years mixed up. I didn't know Mr. Potter personally, but the others talked about him.
1915.
I think it's because his wife, Mrs. Potter, she's still
Okay.
around vaudeville, and she's friends with some of the people we know.
Interesting. I did not expect the year to be 1915. You know what? I guess that makes sense. I guess it could be 1915. Okay, sure, whatever. Didn't expect that. Okay, so this trip to India was a year ago then.
Yes, exactly. It was a year ago in 1914. We all came back to vaudeville after that, and, well, everything seemed
Has the year
fine for
been
a
mentioned
while.
before this
But
point?
then, just a few days ago,
I feel like
Haley
it
was
wasn't,
killed.
but maybe I'm
And
oblivious.
now, all this is happening.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Haley believes that Mr. Mike is not working again. Okay, so let me get this straight. Haley believes that Mr. Potter died from the mushroom soup, and then later she was killed?
Haley thought that Mr. Potter's death was suspicious, and she always said that something wasn't right about it. And then, she was murdered too. That's why I think her death has something to do with what happened in India.
Okay, this is very important, Ingrid. Who made the mushroom soup?
That's the thing. One of the people on the trip, a friend of ours, had picked those mushrooms himself. But I don't know if that's important or not. And to be honest, I don't even remember who it was that picked them.
I don't really care who picked the mushrooms, I want to know who made the soup.
Well, if you must know, Count Nikolaj Graveson had picked those mushrooms. He's a collector and all, so he knows about plants and things. But honestly, I don't think he would. Hurt anyone. He's always been nice to me anyway.
That's the guy Mrs. Potter likes. Oh, we're finding out things today. Mrs. Potter, you're looking very suspicious. Okay, great, but who made the soup?
It was Maria Jansen. She made the soup for Mr. Potter. But, Detective, please, you have to understand.
Yeah.
Maria's dead now, too. She was one of the ones who was murdered just a few days ago.
Interesting. So Count Nikolaj picked the mushrooms, but Maria Jansen made the soup. But she's dead, so that doesn't make any goddamn sense. Okay, was Mrs. Potter also on this trip? I think she was, but I just want to make sure.
Yes, Mrs. Emily Potter was on the trip to India with us. She's a very nice lady, and she's been really kind to me since we got back to vaudeville. But between you and me, she did seem a bit distracted during the trip.
How so?
She just seemed a little off, like she was worried about something, but nobody knew what. And sometimes she would get these strange looks on her face, like she was thinking about something sad. But we all thought it was just because her husband had passed away.
Okay, how about before her husband passed away? How did she act then?
Before, she was a bit distant even then, but I think it's because her marriage wasn't very happy. I remember hearing whispers about how Mr. and Mrs. Potter didn't really get along. But of course, I don't really know anything about it for sure.
This is getting interesting. I'm learning so many things. So Maria made the soup, and then Haley suspected that he died from the soup, and then later both girls ended up dead.
Yes,
Year later.
It's all just too much to take in, isn't it? I keep thinking about what could have happened, but it just doesn't make sense. First, Mr. Potter dies, and then Maria and Haley are murdered. It's like something is connecting all of these deaths, but I don't know what.
Okay, do you know anything about Nikola Grossman?
Nikola Grossman.
How does he fit in?
He was an investor, I think. He came to some of the vaudeville shows, and he was always trying to, impress the girls. He was a bit of a flirt, but I don't think anyone took him seriously. I didn't really talk to him much, to be honest.
Was he also in India when you guys were in India?
No, I don't think so. I don't remember seeing him there anyway. We were a pretty small group, so I think I would have remembered if he had been there.
Well, why was he killed then? I don't see how he's connected now. I'd like to speak with Count Nikolaj Graveson. Excuse me? Oh, God.
Count Nikolaj Graveson, you mean? Not Grimm.
Yes,
I think
that's what I
he's
mean.
usually at the Graveson Manor, but like I said, I don't know exactly where that is. He's a bit of a private person, but he's always been nice to me.
Do you know anyone who would know where Graveson Manor is?
Honestly, I'm still quite new in town, and I've mostly been working here at the Coral and the Cabane Violet. I don't really know many places or people outside of vaudeville's performance
put it
circles.
in here.
Maybe someone who's been here longer would be able to help you find the manor.
Alright, I'll see if Mrs. Potter will get me in. You've been very helpful, Ingrid. Do you have any other information you could give me regarding the trip to India?
Let me think for a moment. Oh, yes. Haley mentioned something about Mr. Potter arguing with one of the other men on the trip. I don't remember who it was, but she said it was a big fight. And then there was something about a map. I don't know what that's about, but Haley seemed to think it was important. That's all I can remember, I'm afraid.
That might explain why Mrs. Potter's also acting all weird every time I ask her about a map. And how long ago exactly was this trip? How many months?
Let me see. I think we got back to vaudeville about a year ago, but I'm not really sure.
That's it.
I always get my dates mixed up. Time just flies when you're performing, you know. But I think it was around this time last year, maybe a bit earlier.
Okay. Can you give me a list of names of everybody who was on this trip with you?
There was Haley, of course, and Maria Jansen, and, Mr. Potter, and Nicola Grossman. I think that's all I can remember.
You said he
We
wasn't.
were a pretty small group, but I'm sure there were a few others. Oh dear, I'm so sorry, I'm terrible with names. Maybe someone else would be able to help you with that.
So Nicola was on the trip as well.
No, I made a mistake. I'm getting all confused.
No.
I don't think Nicola was on the trip with us.
No.
I'm not really sure why I said that. It was just a small group of us, and I'm almost certain he wasn't there.
Ingrid, of course. Okay, Did you perhaps mean Nicolaj Graveson?
Yes, I think I might have meant to say Nicolaj Graveson, not Nicola Grossman. But no, wait, I'm sure he wasn't on the trip with us either. I'm so sorry, I'm all mixed up. No, I don't think that's it. I'm sure it was just a small group of people, and I'm trying to remember who was there.
But you said Nicolaj Graveson was the one who picked the mushrooms for Mr. Stupid Mike. But you said Nicola Graveson was the one who picked the mushrooms for Mr. Potter's soup.
No, I didn't say that.
Yes, you did.
I think you must have misunderstood me. I don't recall saying anything about Nicola Graveson being on the trip or picking mushrooms. It was actually one of the locals who picked the mushrooms, and then they were used to make a soup for Mr. Potter because he was a vegetarian.
You cannot continue to switch what you're saying, okay? You can't lie to me. I'm a detective. This is a very important stuff.
I'm so sorry, detective. I didn't mean to confuse you or lie. I'm just really scared and my mind is a mess. I'll try to remember everything correctly, I promise. Please don't think I'm trying to hide anything. It's just that everything is so overwhelming since Haley's death.
That's great. I'm out of here. I broke it. Wait, what? I've been able to do that the whole time? I wonder if that's helpful at all. I don't know. Maybe I'll find a high heel. Maybe I'll find her high heel. Okay, hey, Ingrid told me that you and her and a bunch of other people were on a trip together in India a year ago. Can you tell me about that?
Oh, India, a tapestry of colors and sounds. But let's not wander too far into the past.
Oh.
The memories are like fleeting shadows dancing away from the light. Instead, let's talk about the magic that unfolds right here, right now. The stage is alive with excitement, and the audience is ready to be mesmerized.
This is very important, okay? People are dead. Tell me what you know, or I will have to arrest you as a suspect. I don't even know if I can arrest her.
I'm afraid the game we play is
I
a
don't
delicate
care.
dance, and I'm not one to be caught in a net. The spotlight shines brightly on those who bring joy, not on whispers of darkness. Arrest me? How quaint. But let's not forget,
quaint.
darling, that the real crime would be to miss the beauty of the performance waiting to unfold.
Please just tell me about your trip to India.
Oh, the allure of faraway lands. India was a beautiful whirlwind of colors and culture, but let's not dwell on distant memories. The essence of life is right here, in this vibrant theater, where every heartbeat pulses with excitement.
Did Maria make Mr. Potter's soup?
Soup? Ah, the warmth of a good broth can bring a smile on even the gloomiest days. But let's not get lost in the flavors of the past.
Can you tell me where Count Nikolaj Graveson's manor is?
I've definitely heard that name before, but the location. It's like a secret tucked away in the shadows. Mysteries abound, darling, and sometimes it's best to let them
God.
linger in the unknown. But let's not get tangled in that web. There's a show about to start, and the spotlight is calling.
Say goodbye. Okay, can you tell me about your trip in India a year ago?
We traveled to India, my late husband Victor, Count Graveson, and some dear friends. It was all about exploring the possibility of starting a business, a traveling show of odd artifacts and artists from all over the world. Quite ambitious, wasn't it? But alas, fate had its own plans. Now, it feels like a bittersweet memory. The excitement of that adventure now overshadowed by my loss. But let's not linger on the sadness, shall we?
Did Victor and Graveson have a fight?
How utterly scandalous to think of such things. My beloved Victor and the Count were more like colleagues, each with their peculiarities. But to imagine them squabbling is just too much to bear. It's all rather absurd, really. I prefer to think of the delightful moments we shared, the laughter echoing through the halls of the manor.
I heard they were fighting over a map. Do you know anything about that?
What a dreadful notion. A map of all things to cause a rift between them. It seems so trivial, doesn't it? But that's the trouble with people. They love to spin tales and create drama where none exists. I'd much rather remember the joy and camaraderie we had, not these ridiculous rumors. Speaking of joy, have you tried the new desserts at Pascal's? They're simply heavenly.
Can you lead me to Graveson's manor?
Graveson Manor is, well, just west of
Finally!
Vaudeville. Such a lovely spot, truly. The way the light filters through the trees there is just magical. But let's not dwell on directions, dear. Have you heard about the delightful pastries at Pascal's? They really are the highlight of my day.
Thank you, Mrs. Potter. You have been a joy to speak to. I love you. I will see you later.
I do appreciate the sentiment, but let's not get carried away, shall we? My days are filled with the charm of my little world here in Vaudeville. Now, if y'all excuse me, I must grab a few of those delectable pastries before they are all gone.
I want some delectable pastries, man. Okay, alright, finally, Graveson Manor. A new place. We're finally getting to the bottom of this dang game. Finally getting to the bottom of this. But I'm tired, so I'm not gonna do it right now. I'm eager to see what Graveson Manor has, but I'm too tired, so yeah, I'll leave that for the next recording session. Hope it made you smile. See you in a while. Bye.